guys, welcome to this month's song breakdown, and the song I'm going to break down this month is So They Walk. It's from the album These Paths We Tread. So, if you've seen one of these things before, you will know the way I do it. I break it down into two halves. You've got the song lyrics and themes, and then you've got how the song evolved. So without further ado, let's get onto the lyrics and themes. This was the 6th song we wrote as a band. We just finished the first EP and we'd written Maenads, which was almost included in the first EP, but in the end we realised that because it was about myth and things like that, it didn't really fit in with the whole disaster idea that was of the first EP, and so that ended up on this album as well. This is very different from Maenads, and I would say that it's the first example of me actually probably starting to think about writing something that I was experiencing rather than just writing about myth and disasters. And what it's about basically is, in a nutshell, being a frontman. And I don't know if you guys know, but Morass Of Molasses is the first band I've ever fronted, and this was a new experience for me, and I was kind of going through the motions of like kind of understanding what that meant and trying to find that delicate balance, I guess, between confidence and arrogance. So this song is about addressing that and trying to find that balance and not going too far one way or the other. So yeah, and it was quite an interesting thing, I guess, to write a song about that. You'll also notice that there's lots of metaphor in the lyrics for it, and that's because I think I wasn't 100% comfortable with being very obvious about what I was singing about. And so as much as I wanted to process it, I was kind of like, you know, left a certain amount up to people's imaginations. So, but it was definitely a step forward in my songwriting, and I'm glad I wrote it. And it's one of those songs where you don't really play it anymore, and I'll get to the reason why later. But I guess listening to it again for doing this video, it has reminded me that it's a good song, and a lot of people did like it when it first came out. So yeah, cool. Right, I will now get on to the evolution of the song. So, how did the song evolve? Well, an interesting point about this song is that I specifically, right from the outset, wanted to write something that sounded different from things that we'd done before. I wanted it to have a lot of groove to it, and I wanted it to be quite upbeat, which, if you compare it to Maenads, the song we'd just written, which was very slow and very doomy, it would be very different from that. And so we played around with a lot of ideas, and the song that came out, you know, did end up fulfilling most of that idea. Now, I would say that I wasn't 100% happy with the finished product of it. I mean, you never are, but I would also say, as an interesting point, that the thing I was trying to achieve with it, I think we ended up eventually achieving with Death of All. That level of groove and that level of high impact, whereas this song falls a little bit short of it, but in a way it does create this link between So They Walk and Death of All. And although lyrically they're about very different things, musically, if you listen to both the songs, there is a link there, and melodically there is a link there, rhythmically there is a link there, and they are kind of sisters to each other. So that's an interesting point, I guess. And in terms of evolution, so I didn't have any phone recordings of this, but I had plenty of stuff that people had filmed around the time, because we were playing live a lot, and so we were basically working this song out live. And I found a recording of us playing in Bath, and we were playing in this very, very dark sort of basement bit where there are hardly any lights. So the video itself is very dark, can't really see anything. But I'm going to play you a little bit of the audio of it now. So the first thing you'd probably notice is it's slow. It's very slow compared to how it ended up, and I guess that's how we wrote it at first, a very slow groove, and you can kind of tell we're just sort of getting used to it and getting used to playing in this different way. It's quite fascinating really to listen back to that. But you know, in these early days, a lot of this stuff was very new. We didn't have any kind of way of writing songs, so everything was just suck it and see, really. Also, I think I found some footage which is a little bit better quality, so you can actually see the visuals of it, of the first time that we played it at the Swamp. So I'll play that for you now as well. You may or may not have noticed in the foreground of that footage was, I think, Rob and Kate. We were in the foreground enjoying that very early version of So They Walk, a very early Swamp as well. So there was a good set of memories there, as it were. So from that you can tell that we were still working the song out as well. It's still slow, and I'm still working out how to sing it, I think. And I think Westy is still definitely working out how to play some of the drum fills. So yeah, it's still a work in progress, I think. And then each time we played the song, basically it got better and better and better, and leading up to recording it in the studio. And I think I might have some other footage of us playing it in Croydon, actually. I'll play that for you now. So that's starting to sound a lot more like what you recognise the song sounding like. And as an interesting point as well, I think you can see we're enjoying playing it a lot more, and we're a lot more confident about playing it. Ironic, considering that's exactly what the song's about. But yeah, that's definitely nearer to the mark. So you can see how the song has started to get to the point where you recognise it. Cool. And then we obviously, after that, we went in the studio and recorded it, and now it's the version you heard now. So I'll probably leave you with a little bit of the actual album version just to play out. And yeah, thanks for watching the song breakdown, and see you again next month. Bye bye.